Hello, Jim Howard here in Fort Worth, Texas. Today it's May 9th, January, February, March, April, May. May 9th, 2013. I'm going to try to make this fast. I purchased this portable radio. Got it from Amazon. The Sangean, I guess that's how you say it. It's, when I was looking at it, online, on websites, and even on YouTube videos, it's actually smaller than I thought it would be, which is great. It's a portable radio. I watched the reviews. I read the reviews on Amazon. They were all great for it. AM, FM, shortwave. I watched, I think, every video that I could find on YouTube that got great reviews, and I saw people listening to different stations on shortwave. I started shortwave listening in 1955, and I was very active till from the time I was like 12 or 13 till I was 26. When I got married, my wife objected to me having any interest other than her, and she objected to the noise and did very little shortwave listening after that. I was married for 12 years, so I did a little bit after I got divorced, but nothing like when I was a kid. This is a history of shortwave listening from 1945 till the current date. Jerome S. Berg did a fantastic job. I'm in here in the index. You can look up my name, and I'm in the book 4 or 5 places, I think. The reason I'm saying that is that all the reviews I saw on this were excellent.
I'm not used to being spoken to like that by a man I met once at a railway station.
And
I dare say, but if I'm not to dance with you.
AM, it's a nice. It feels good. It's a nice radio. AM FM is good. It does single sideband. The reason I mentioned the fact that I'm in this history book, I did a weekly radio program that was broadcast around the world from WRUL Radio in New York on shortwave listening and DXing. Anyway, the reason I mention this is I do know a little bit about shortwave radio. I mean, I'm not too smart in a lot of areas, but about shortwave radio, I'm pretty good, because I'm going to say some negative things. Don't pay any attention. Don't go out and buy this radio because you liked what I said about it. Don't not buy it because of what I'm just not trying to encourage you to not buy it or buy it. But I do want you to know, I don't want somebody to leave a comment, well, you didn't know about the gain switch here on the side that you can adjust to maximum or minimum. Or I don't want somebody to say, well, you had it set on narrow and you should have had it on broad bandpass or whatever. Believe me, I do know a little bit about shortwave radio. This is the end of the antenna thing. I'm going to plug it in. I'm going to tune direct. I'm going to turn the volume up here and hit the shortwave switch. It's 5:24 p.m. and it's on 5 megahertz, or 5,000 kilohertz. I don't hear WWV, but okay. I'm going to hit the F key for frequency. I'm going to hit 10. I'm going to put it into 10 megahertz. There's WWV, National Bureau Standards time station. Also, some other data is transmitted on. By the way, I'm using the Logitech 910 camera for this. I gave the 920 to my ex-wife.
25 minutes. Coordinated universal time.
Okay, that's coming in pretty good. Now, of course, you heard one just briefly. I'm tuning through the 31 meter band, shortwave broadcast band, and there just isn't anything there. Now, I haven't done much listening for years. I do know that a lot of the international broadcasters that used to broadcast have stopped doing international broadcasting, just too expensive, and the internet or whatever. But nothing. I tuned through. You heard maybe one station up there. May hear somebody down here. There should be more stations than that. I know about the squelch here. Okay, this time of day, the 40 meter ham band. Going to hit shortwave. Oh, I need to hit frequency first. Frequency and 7. Oops. Frequency 7 0. Well, I hit that'll work. Not too good at doing this and two things. I can't do two things at once. Okay, we should be hearing Morse code in this area. But let's get up here to, whoops, I got single sideband picture. Okay, we should be hearing a lot of amateur radio stations, a lot. Maybe we can pick up a single sideband up here. Anyway, I don't want to make this too long. Years ago, after I started out, I'm not going to go into the radios that I used to have, but many, many years later, after I wasn't very active in shortwave radio, I went out and bought a Radio Shack. I think it was a DX300 or the DX303, something like that. And this reminds me of that on the shortwave bands. I just don't hear anything. It was the same way with that radio, and I sent the radio into Radio Shack repair, and I forget whether they said it's perfectly fine or whether they said we tuned it up, but it came back and you just couldn't hear anything. This should be popping with stations, especially when you go to the ham bands. So I don't know why. The reason I'm saying is don't listen to me is I'm living in an apartment on the ground floor. I'm in Texas. Maybe I don't depend on me, but I'm going to return this. I very rarely ever return anything. I'm going to return this to Amazon and get a different AM/FM shortwave radio. So what else? As I said, this is being recorded with the Logitech 910 because I ended up giving the 920 to my ex-wife. She's using it for eBay. Works out great for her. She's got it hooked to the laptop that I gave her. And she takes pictures and it works out great. I was using this for a while, the Microsoft, what's it called? Studio or whatever. I don't know if it was the last, what wasn't the last video? I made the last video with the this. I started getting popping noises in the sound with this. So I am now back to using the 910 for this video, and it looking good. I have to see how the audio sounds. Let me kill two birds with one stone. This is only a 10-minute video. That's nothing for me. It takes me 10 minutes to say my... I started shortwave listening in about... Let me tell you that I my parents had a True Tone radio, just a regular, I don't even think it was FM on it, I don't believe. And I tuned down to the low end of the band, below about 530 kilohertz. And I could hear, I think it was RAB, which I found out later, it was CW, sending in CW, which I think was in Guatemala or someplace in South America, a long wave beacon. Then I tuned up to the high end of the AM broadcast band, and I could actually hear police calls, CW, and some other time, depending on, like one time at night I'd tune up there and I'd hear these police calls. Wow. And then another time I'd tune up and I wouldn't hear the police calls, but I'd hear CW and whatever, because of propagation conditions. And by the way, there again, I'm aware of the sunspot cycle. I used to give the sunspot cycles every week on my DX program. I'm aware of the 7-year cycle. I'm aware of the time of day, the ionosphere, the layers. I'm aware that there's a seasonal change. I actually headed up Research Group C of the Office for Satellite Scatter Coordination. So I know, anyway, on my parents' radio, so I wanted a shortwave radio. And my parents, they wouldn't buy me one for some reason. I guess, I don't know, just wouldn't buy me one. It's not like, we weren't poor, we weren't rich, they just wouldn't buy me one. An aunt and uncle invited my mother and myself to go down to the Missouri State Fair in Sedalia, Missouri. I'd never been, well, in fact, I've never been to a state fair. I think I might have made it to a county fair or two in my lifetime. We started down, and a farmer on a tractor was on the highway, and cars were behind him, and then all of a sudden he just stopped and then turned into his driveway. Smash, smash, smash. We smashed into the car ahead of us. The accident at that point wasn't too bad, but then we were like the last car, except we were on like the down part of a hill, and somebody came up over the hill, and then bang, they were on top of us, smashed in the back of us, knocked us in. I think my aunt cracked some ribs, and I scraped up my knees, and the car had to be towed. Nobody was seriously hurt. But the insurance company gave my mother $50, gave me $50, and I bought a shortwave radio. Helicopter's S38D. So I got into big time shortwave radio, as you can tell. And then, of course, I found out about the World Radio Television Handbook, and I bought one every year. And I haven't bought one for probably 40 years, and I got one. Now the other day, I can actually read this today. I can see the other day I couldn't read it at all. And the type is very small. I need to get in and have my eyes tested, because today I can actually see this a little bit. Don't know if you can see. You can't tell from this how small the type is, I don't think, but they have a CD or DVD version, so I'll probably be ordering that if I can find a shortwave radio that will work. See, did I tell you I was going to, I think I did. I'm going to send this back to Amazon. Got it a couple of days ago, and I want to get a different shortwave radio. I think I'm going to get the C Crane radio. This was about $250, and the C Crane is about $140. Actually, I was planning on getting the C Crane radio first, and it doesn't have a BFO where it can pick up single sideband radio. So I actually ordered a radio from C Crane Company, and then I ordered a device from China, BFO, that will let me listen to single sideband on that. And then C Crane tried to run my PayPal credit card. They didn't have a PayPal button on their site, but I don't know why I just didn't use my bank card, but I used my PayPal card. And they tried twice and it wouldn't go through. And so I just called them and said, well, cancel the order. But I still got that thing from China coming. And I went ahead and ordered this. I'm going to go ahead and order I'm going to return this to Amazon. I'm going to order the C. Clark radio from Amazon. And I'll let you know how that works. This is 15 minutes. That's plenty long enough to, that's too long. Anyway, thanks for watching.